So what are we chatting about today?
So I think we're chatting about evolution. I think there's a lot going on in the no. So what was your question?
What?
Yeah, I guess the industry has just changed massively. I mean, we all know what websites looked like 22 years ago. No mobile phones. People were buying on laptops and desktops. Do people even have desktops anymore? I don't even think they do.
I do.
Do you have a desktop? Yeah, I think it's changed massively in the fact that people are starting to recognise that website marketing sits as a major part now of your entire sales tool, your entire sort of marketing way of reaching customers and convince them to buy something has changed hugely, and you can reach that audience through a digital marketing strategy.
The smaller businesses who are going through digital transformation, looking back 5-6 years ago, around that period, digital transformation for a lot of those businesses was we need a website still at this point. You know what I mean? They might have a few pages here and there and a bit of a presence, but they've got by on word of mouth and then, previous sales tactics. And I think nowadays, there isn't anybody who walks through the door who doesn't understand, even basic concepts like mobile responsiveness and the importance of, landing pages. Everybody knows what SEO is. Everybody knows mostly what, PPC is and the differences. Or if they've not yet done those things, they have a basic
awareness of it.
Awareness of it.
Still, though, some clients come in asking for a website, and they've decided by themselves what our company needs is a website, without actually the extra thought behind who the target audience is, whereabouts in the country they're looking to sell, what the products are or what the competitors are. All these things are really important, and I really like that realization. I had it yesterday in a meeting where the client came in and said, I want a website. I don't want it too fussy. But actually, when we stepped backwards and really broke down why they were here, it was to gain more brand awareness. It was to gain more sales and leads. And when you really dig into that, just the website by itself won't do that. You can have, if I break that down into example of having a shop, if you have a really nice shop, great products, great staff, great service, unless you're advertising that, who's going to find it? Nobody is. I could really see the penny drop with the client yesterday when I started to explain all of this. And that client, instead of just going away with a website that won't do anything for them now, will be going away with a website as part of a full marketing plan. Yeah. And I know you talk a lot about the marketing funnel, don't you, and how everything sort of fits together. I think that's quite interesting to explain the funnel to clients who maybe have heard the terminology before but don't understand the importance of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it blows my mind still that people would come into a digital agency and say we need a website, and then not consider fully how they're actually going to drive people to that website. Like, it's not a case of, I always say this, but build it and they will come, which is a Peep Show reference.
Yeah.
If anybody's watched
or Field of Dreams if you're old as well.
Yeah, that might even be what they're referencing.
It is, yeah. Damn, I wish I didn't know that.
Good knowledge.
Yeah.
But, it is that kind of like chicken and the egg kind of idea here. But a lot of the time, like you said, that first question and need coming into that meeting does open up a lot of those. Well, actually, why do you need it? What is the next steps? How does it affect your business? And really getting a full understanding of that does lead generally to a conversation of, okay, how can we market it? Because, what's the point in investing a sizable budget towards building an asset, which if you're not then converting with it, it seems like a waste, which, yeah, like you said, kind of leads to that kind of conversation around the whole of the funnel and where does a website sit within that. We kind of talk a lot about the basic funnel going from awareness through to consideration through to conversion, and having that conversation with clients really broadens their understanding of what exactly we do as a business. It's not just here's a product, thank you, we'll see you in a year. It really is, here is everything that is suitable for your business. Here's a strategy based off of what we think is the best things to do, and more importantly, what kind of budget do you have, and completely vice versa. What's the point in paying marketing budgets for PPC, investing in SEO, doing email marketing, and the full suite of marketing if you then have a poor converting website as well, right?
Because you've got to have both together, haven't you?
Yeah, but COVID, it's been and gone, but I think that was the huge accelerator, particularly within our industry, of businesses fully understanding how important a web presence and digital marketing strategy is, because I feel like it's completely changed the sales behavior of a lot of, especially we do a lot of B2B stuff. It did used to be the case that you could knock on someone's door, ask for an appointment, and go and sell to them, right? And I think the shift in mindset after we have kind of gone fully digital, most businesses have gone fully digital to most, some extent. It's completely changed that now, and a lot of businesses have recognised that. Like obviously, I wasn't quite here during the main part of COVID. Obviously, I started towards the tail off of that.
Yeah.
How did you find that shift during that?
When it first hit, we had no idea what was going to happen in terms of were customers going to come in saying they don't want to focus on websites anymore, or they want to conserve the cost because they were scared about what was happening. But actually, a few clients came and said, this is the time to push. This is the time when people still need to buy things, and a lot of services can be bought remotely. So I remember one customer in particular saying, no, whilst all my competitors are sitting now doing nothing, I want to push and push on for marketing. And I think that COVID definitely accelerated it. And you can certainly see that trend changing of clients when they're coming in, understanding how important that marketing is. And you'll know from as clients come in, the level of understanding they have of marketing services has massively increased. And I quite like explaining to clients about the monthly relationship that we have with those clients, becoming a partner, not just a supplier. And the key difference there is us being responsible and present as they go through that journey of realizing the value of that marketing and website. Because again, you can set them up with marketing website, that's great. But who's going to monitor that? Who's going to look at that? And I like that at Eyeweb we're doing that constant relationship with them and seeing them every month and discussing it. And I really like to see in those early meetings where a client doesn't fully understand what a bounce rate is, and they don't fully understand the importance of figures that are in those spreadsheets and in Google's analytic tool. But then over time they start to sort of come in and say, oh, how's my bounce rate doing? Or what figures, understanding what figures are important.
Yeah.
And I think one really interesting thing is an evolution that Eyeweb's taking in the last sort of 6 to 8 months, in the fact of starting to deal with clients after those results, in terms of looking at helping them, assisting them with converting leads. So not just getting the leads on the call, but then actually asking the question of what do you do after that? You can just leave them there, but it's really nice that we're starting to talk to them about how are they managing those leads. Have they got a CRM, a customer relationship management system? Are they just storing them in the head, which was the answer I got from my client the other day. And that's crazy, because the journey doesn't end at that point when a client's rung you, because they might show some interest but then disappear. But actually, maybe in 3 weeks' time, if you stayed in touch with them with like that email diagram you showed me the other day, if you can stay in touch with those clients, you could convert them later.
Yeah. I think there's so much that can be done, and I guess it's interesting to reflect on Eyeweb as a business, because we're fully involved in all of those kind of stages for clients, and there's so much that you can do, that even as a business that you've been developing for 22 years, you've got me, from a marketing point of view, with over 10 years experience and many experienced people in the business. We're still not even at the point where we've got everything in place across the whole marketing funnel through to conversion and automation, because it's so many things that you can do and tweak to really get like the needle to move across a lot of metrics and things like that, so that's, a lot of business owners can feel a bit at ease that even, a digital agency who's kind of specialised.
We're always learning, aren't we?
It can feel a bit overwhelming sometimes, I imagine, to look at the whole funnel for the first time and somebody go, well, you need SEO, PPC, social media, email, a website, brochure, listing all of this stuff off and going, oh, that feels like a huge investment. And actually, it's going to take years realistically to get to that point. And but when you do get to that point, so much is going to change again with, you know, advancements in products and AI and all this kind of stuff that's coming through now. That, you know, it's not a case of here's a strategy, fantastic, we got to the finish line, we've done everything. It's unfortunately an ever moving marathon where the final post just keeps getting further and further away. But that's not a bad thing.
We went, as I said before, we took a step back to take a step forwards, and we concentrated on how the business is actually running as well. And that's often what it's really nice to discuss that with a client, rather than just saying, are we having this green or blue, or where are we putting the logo? That's not what, that maybe is what Eyeweb did 15, 20 years ago. But now it's really digging into the business and saying, what, you know, how can we actually push the business forward, not just how can we make a nice website. So I really like, and the whole team ethos is all about that as well. You know, everybody in the team now enjoys being part of that, and not just doing the job, not just being a supplier, but actually becoming a partner of the business and starting to learn, you know, what makes them tick. Now, we're not there to tell them how to run the business, but we're there to provide as much advice that we've picked up that we can pass on, but also build them the tools that gives them a bit of a break from having to, you know, go out and do any sales or whatever, and to actually have a digital sort of platform and strategy in place that can really boost the business for them. So.
So out of curiosity, how would you say the initial scope meeting, that like initial kind of like really getting to understand why somebody needs a website, what they want, what their business is, that kind of stuff. How has that changed from you know, the meetings that we've been doing this year versus, you know, let's just say, you know, pre-COVID, 5, 6, 7 years ago, when, you know, our understanding of all of that really was different.
We used to focus so much on, let's discuss these pages, let's see which ones are dynamic, which ones are whatever. But actually, when you zoom out and look at that website as a full part, as we've said a couple of times, as the whole picture, that really opens people's eyes up. It's a little bit like the scene in The Matrix when he finally works out that he's a part of a much bigger picture. That is what it's like. And it's interesting when they've got their own members of the team who do some marketing, and they can get them involved as well. That's what we really like to get into, you know, understanding all of that, the makeup of it, because we've had to go through that. You know, we've built this business and got it to where it is now. And, you know, everyone's playing the part in that. And it's the same for any company. And if we can assist them, you know, getting onto that next step and really sort of saying, the money I'm spending there on marketing and websites is leading to more sales, that's what you want, that return on investment. And we never would have discussed that terminology 10 years ago with clients. But as it's grown and evolved, I really think that's becoming a much more interesting part of how we can sort of partner with the clients.
Yeah. We also had that kind of marketing as a product versus marketing as a full solution. And, you know, going back earlier on in my career, it was very much somebody would come and say, right, we want SEO. And I'd go, no problem, we can do SEO. Do you want this much SEO, that much SEO, or that much SEO? And they go, I don't know. And we go, well, just start with that then. And it's very like, okay, what are we delivering?
No sort of structured plan, right?
There's no why are we delivering it? And that as a question is a huge game changer, really, right? Because nowadays, you know, somebody comes in and goes, we want SEO, and I'll say, okay, why? What's your business doing? How much you're making off your products, your services? What, you know, is your website good enough? And actually, that conversation usually leads to, okay, well, maybe we don't even need to do marketing straight away. We actually need to get all of your assets in place. You know, do you have digital brochures? Is your website going to convert properly? Let's get that sorted first, because there's no point investing in SEO until we've got it done, essentially. So bigger picture, how's your funnel converting? What have you got in place for all that kind of stuff? So like I said, it's more of a journey now, as opposed to trying to just deliver a product.
Just in generally now, the whole picture, especially over the last sort of couple of years, is evolving as the team evolves as well here, and everyone's getting more responsibility. I think it's that's coming across. I'm finding that a lot in you know, meetings and the way we're delivering things. So, but yeah, I think just in general, to sum up, I feel this evolution is massive, and it's still going really fast. And I know in a future podcast you want to talk a bit about AI and how that's evolving as well. And it's a separate subject, but it might
be a 2 hour long one.
It might be a longer one, slightly longer one. Yeah. ChatGPT, make this only 10 minutes long. So that's something we'll cover in a future one. But overall, I think this evolution, I'm finding, and I think you do as well, staying at the crest of that wave is really, really interesting, and you know, continuing to sort of keep educating clients on what they can get from a digital campaign.
Because in 10 years, we won't need websites.
Maybe not. And that's all right.